And sorry, do you do an opening statement?
Nope.
Okay.
Not
What went
today.
in kind of to the decision to have Aiden start today, and what did you think of him this afternoon?
You know, I thought he could potentially be a starter the whole year, but he's been a big piece of our bullpen as well. But when we recruited him, we saw starter, but, you know, credit to Coach Gaines and Coach Haugh. He's developed the changeup. He didn't have the changeup when he got here. It was more fastball, curveball. And he's shown that changeup a lot more because he got hit a little bit early, even though he was throwing hard. He's been holding his velocity. He's a big kid. Thought he had enough pitchability. So, you know, we were thinking about trying to start him anyway midweek potentially if we didn't use him on the weekend. But as soon as, you know, Folger had the flare up and we're still waiting to see what's going on with that, we thought that would be the best for our team. And, man, he pitched great. And I would have ran him back out there, but he was on 4 days rest, and he's going to have to come back maybe on 1 day short rest against NC State.
Did you talk at all about the home win streak that was on the line in his first start? I mean, kind of putting pressure on him.
No, we have not talked about that at all until today. I just told the guys congrats on breaking the streaks. I don't even know what the streaks are. Try not to think about them, honestly, but that's a credit to our guys. And I said try to make it a streak that nobody can break. You know, that's a goal. Don't think about the streak and just play. So I'm glad I didn't say anything to him for sure.
Do you see him slotting into that Sunday spot for however long?
Yeah. I think Folger's going to be out a little bit. I don't know how long. We'll know more this week. And I'll be able to tell you guys how long that will be once I know. But, yeah, that's how we'll go for sure this weekend. I don't know if we'll go – I got to look at it good and look at the pitch counts. Whether or not we'll go to Caro on Thursday, Sprague on Friday, because then they'll be on 5 days. So that's definitely enough rest. But we'll look at it good and figure it out.
So that's 13 strikeouts in, 8 innings this week for Aiden.
Yeah, against two good, offensive clubs. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, the kid's throwing 93, 95. He's got a hammer of a curveball, and the changeup's been a difference maker because lefties had hit him a little bit. But he works. You know, he's a phenomenal kid. Doesn't say much, but he deserves what he's getting. He's a great teammate.
Coach, with about a month left in the regular season, how do you assess where this team's at?
Yeah, I mean, what's our record? 29-7. I mean, that's a great record. We played well in the league. You want to win every series, so obviously you want to learn from the 2 series we lost, but sweeps are hard to get. When you get a sweep, you get a sweep. And especially last week, we knew how hard that stretch was going to be. You're at Wake, you're at Virginia, and then you're neutral. You know, greedy. I felt like we should have went 5-2, but to do that and go 4-3 was pretty good because those teams are good, and those teams are teams that can host. All 3 of them can host regionals. Potentially, you know, 1 of the 3 or 2 of the 3 play a national seed potentially. So, you know, I'm happy where we are, but we obviously have to keep getting better in all areas. I feel like this weekend we played well. If they made a mistake, we capitalized on it. I felt like we played good defense for the most part overall.
One error, I think, on the weekend.
Yeah, and that ball, that was Johnny. And I think that today, and he made a heck of a play before, but I think that's the right call because that's a play Johnny can make and all of our third basemen can make. But it was good to see him make those plays, and it kind of describes our team this year. You know, when we got a lot of returners that are really good that haven't played a ton, and you throw Johnny in there, and because he's had a good attitude, he's ready and he's worked and he plays well for us.
2 big challenges this week: a ranked Coastal team, and then NC State, which just took 2 of 3 at number 2 Clemson. So
did they lose today?
Yeah, they lost.
Yeah, it only gets harder, and that's what you want. That's why you schedule tough teams. That's why you have Coastal coming in here. Gary Gilmore's last game ever coaching at the Bosch because he's retiring, so I'm excited to see him. They're always good, and obviously going over to NC. I look at it as fun. The better teams you play, the more fun it should be. That's why you came to the University of North Carolina. So it is a challenge, but that's what you came here for.
What's been the difference to get these sweeps? We talked about it before, but last year you were getting 2 wins and then not finishing up. What's the difference?
It's all pitching. You know, I hate to put it all on that. Obviously, we're more powerful top to bottom. We have more speed, so it's a team game. But I feel like our starting pitching is going way deeper. And when you have weapons like we do in the bullpen, I mean, those are our 3 guys, even without Haugh. When you got Pence, Poston, and Matthias, not many teams have that many guys with that type of stuff and different looks, which is why we pitched Poston today, because a guy like that, I had a feeling he was going to be rusty because he hadn't pitched in a while, and you saw a little bit of that rust, so that's why we threw him out there. But that's been the difference. You know, these guys have gotten us at least to the 4th or 5th. At times last year it was like if somebody went 5 innings, that was really good.
What about Cam and Ben coming in and get a little bit of work?
Yeah, you know, we need some more guys to step up. Those guys have good arms. Cam, Peterson, Percival. With Folger obviously not being available, we've got to fill his innings with other guys, and those guys are all capable. Pretty sure we'll get, Olin's good. Olin Johnson's got a big arm. We'll probably start him against Coastal and let him go out there, and we have all of our bullpen arms rested. But again, I still feel like for us to get even another level, we need one or two of those guys to be really consistent and be really good. But the thing that was great about Padgett and Peterson is their stuff was good. So that means they've been working, they hadn't pitched in a while. They were around the zone. They were up, I think PD was up 95 maybe, and Padgett was 92, 93. So that's a good sign.
One of the challenges that Vance gives other teams, they do the shift to the left side, and then he hits an off-the-field home run.
He's the best center fielder in the country, not close. I said with a bunch of scouts the other night at a high school game, when you grade players pro-wise, it's up to an 80 scale, and a lot of scouts are giving him an 80 defensively. And we've had some great center fielders here. I don't think I'll ever coach anybody better than Vance Honeycutt in center field. He's saved our team so many runs, and nobody talks about it. Obviously, if he's not hitting, it's like, what's wrong with Vance? But that's why he's the most valuable player in the country, because he saved you so many runs. But he also has all the power. I mean, I think he's third now, or broke that record.
Tied for second.
I mean, that's unbelievable. So when he hits it, he does damage. And I think Vance, if you really talk to Vance, when y'all do, you see how young he still is in the face. His best baseball was ahead of him. He's such a worker. He's, golly, I'm just enjoying, like, every day, like I told you guys, I'm just not going to miss a day being around Vance Honeycutt because he makes all of us better.
I am working on a feature on Anthony Donofrio. Can you kind of talk just about quickly, and I know in the setting, but just about kind of his journey a little bit from a couple years ago not being on a team to now leading off here at Carolina?
Yeah, aggressive is the way you would describe Donofrio. You saw him score at home. He's the only guy that, like, you get mad at and you put the stop sign up and he runs through it and he's safe every single time. But I would take everybody that has that type of attitude. He never takes a day off. He works extremely hard. Self-made player, went to a Division III. I've got a Division III background. Didn't play a ton at Cortland State. Had to go home because of, to help his family. He's got a bunch of siblings. He tried to walk on at Stony Brook. They wouldn't let him walk on. He found a summer ball team. Quinnipiac was the only team that offered him a scholarship. Had a great year at Quinnipiac. He kind of went there, actually, they looked at him more as a pitcher because he's got that great arm. And, we watch him on video, and we're like, man, like, we knew a lot of people would be after him. We just didn't know also if he would sign professionally. And Coach Wierzbicki and Coach Gaines went to the New England League, watched him play, and they were like, this kid's an absolute stud. And he was big on relationships, so I'm glad they went. They did some in-person stuff with him, and he committed to us. And he's made our team better because those guys come in, and they also haven't been here. So, like, the first day we have a game, he doesn't even know we have a pregame meal. He goes to Subway and gets his own sub. We're like, hey, dude, we got food for you. But he's not used to that, and that's so refreshing. You look at Aiden Haugh today. We were like, hey, starting against Notre Dame on the weekend is a little different than a start at Fayetteville Tech. So that's the cool thing about baseball. You have these guys that are obviously superstars even out in high school. They go to North Carolina, but then these other guys aren't quite ready, but they work hard. When they get here, they help us. So that's the neat thing about being a coach.
And I know you said that, you hadn't really talked to the guys about the home win streak, but 27 straight at home is an impressive number. Can you just touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, you want to be good at home. And I feel like we've always been good here. And I feel like other teams feel like that. So to me, I look at it as a positive. I don't look at it as like any pressure as a streak. I'm like, hey, the pressure's on the other dugout because they know how good we are at home. So use that to your advantage and be proud of it, and try to make it again one that no other team can break here. So that's the goal. Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thanks.
Your arm shaking?
Did you hear him call you still young in the face, Vance Honeycutt?
Yeah, I am.
Just that opposite field home run. You hit a lot of balls to left field. That one. What'd you see there, and what were you trying to accomplish there?
Yeah, it was 0-2. Kind of cut her out over the plate. Just want to stay on the ball a little bit better, and I think I was able to do that on that swing.
7 home runs this series, 6 by 6 different players. What does that just say about this lineup and the power it has?
Yeah, just guys up and down the lineup can do damage. There's not a free guy to pitch to, and whenever everyone starts kind of rolling, it's gonna be really fun to watch.
Is this the most powerful lineup you've had while here at UNC?
Yeah, 100%.
Vance, you're an in-state kid. You know the history of this program. What does it mean to you when you hear program record 27 straight wins for this ball club?
Yeah, it's really cool to be a part of it. I've witnessed a lot a lot of cool things just watching kind of baseball, but to be a part of it is really special.
What's Anthony brought to the outfield this year?
Yeah, kind of like he's just light. Like he always has a smile on his face. He's like nothing really ever bothers him, and he just makes us all laugh. So I think just to kind of be able to have that guy in right whenever like a pitching change, we all come together and it's a tight ball game, and then he just cracks a joke or something like that. So I think it's been really important for me and Casey, and I know for a lot of other guys.
And you made history and now have the second most home runs in program history, tied with another guy, and you did it in 50-some fewer games than he did. Can you talk about what that might mean to you, or if you ever thought you'd hit that many in college?
Yeah, not special. It's something that I didn't really think about. It's not really something I'm chasing, just kind of chasing wins and, just let all those, individual things kind of fall where they fall.
What's it mean for the team for this guy to step up? I mean, you have some injuries on the pitching staff. Aiden steps in there.
Yeah, he was lights out today. It was fun to watch. I think, at first, whenever he got here, he never talked. But now he's kind of opening up, and he's really fun to be around. He's really fun to watch them out. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, he's tall. Just give me a second. You're a little taller than your friends here.
You're going from a bullpen guy to getting your first start here at Carolina. Just sort of describe the feelings going into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I wasn't really expecting it at first, but, they told me, I just treat it as another day. Making it too much is when it might get to be a little too much for you. Get in your head. You might not perform the way you do, but just another day at the ballpark for me, really.
And what was the conversation like with Coach Forbes when he told you were going to get the start today?
Actually, it was yesterday when I woke up, Coach Gaines texted me saying I'm starting. That's it.
Did you text anything back to him?
Oh, I said, sounds good, thank you.
So I mean, what do you do at that point? You don't prepare any differently, I don't guess, but mindset-wise, a little different coming in mid-game.
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, for some people, they might, find it a little bit anxious or nervous, but really it's just, another day, kind of like I said before. Like, I tried not to make too much of a deal out of it and just kind of go out there and have fun.
How about the way this week has been? I mean, the outing at South Carolina, you've got, 13 strikeouts and 8 innings or something like that in the 2 games. Just tell me about your emotions going through this week.
Yeah, it could have been 13. I'm not really sure. I try not to keep up with stats too much or focus too much on that. More just kind of taking it day by day, outing by outing, and not really focus on what I've done in the past or how well I'm doing now. So now I'm just gonna try and focus on whenever I pitch next.
You said you don't really worry about the stats or anything like that. Were you aware that a program record was on the line today?
I was actually. I saw that on Twitter yesterday, so I was like, oh man. I better not mess anything up today.
How important is a weekend series like this, kind of past halfway point of the season where you don't really have to tax the bullpen, as much as you might normally do?
Yeah, that was huge. Not having to use a ton of guys out of the pen this weekend, and really no one's pitch count getting too high was really big, especially, Folger not being able to pitch with us this weekend. We need as many guys as we can. So that was really good for everybody, kind of get in there but not have to be taxed too much.
Aiden, I can't remember if it was in the second or third, but you got 2 runners on, and then Luke called a timeout, came talk to you. What did he say to you, and what was it like having him behind the plate?
I think he just was kind of saying, just calm. I don't know. I honestly can't remember. I think it's him just kind of let's focus and, get me back in the dugout. That's what he was saying, just get me back in the dugout and, do your thing. And, I mean, it's great having him behind the plate. He's a great guy. He's cheering for you, at all times. He's never, he's not going to be thinking anything badly, but he wants the best for you.
What pitches were working for you today, and what's your approach?
I guess all 3 pitches are working pretty well for me. I've started using my changeup a lot more than I have in the past, especially against lefties. And that's been a huge asset. I think part of why they allowed me to start today is just because I've shown that I can have more of a 3-pitch mix than just a fastball and curveball. But I'd say every pitch was working well, which is, hopefully continue to do that.
Coach did say that was a big part of the decision. How do you start today? Was the development of that third pitch? Kind of talk a little bit about that development from your perspective, what it took to kind of really feel comfortable with the changeup.
Yeah, I going into the fall this year, I had found the way I like to throw the changeup. It was more just like I had to force myself to keep throwing it just to gain more comfort and confidence in it, and that's kind of what I did over the course of the fall and preseason, and then the season. Just keep throwing it, and then it kind of will start to, you'll figure it out, and now I'm able to command it more than I was before.
What about the contrast from last season at Vanderbilt Tech to at Carolina? It's obviously a big difference. Can you talk about some of the contrasts there?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd say everything about it is different. It's a lot more fun here for one, but you're playing better competition, more fans, a lot bigger stadiums, louder stadiums. The whole environment's just different. But you have to enjoy that, because if you don't, then it's not going to go well. But having fun with it and enjoying these tight moments in big areas is, it's great.
How big for that was that South Carolina outing? You guys lost the game, but you pitched well for your confidence going forward, especially given what we know that this might be your spot going for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, South Carolina's huge. It was good mentally for me because I felt like I had struggled a little bit before then, like against Virginia and even against Wake Forest. I feel like I wasn't quite like 100% there, and there are ways I could improve. But South Carolina, I feel like was an outing where I finally felt like I had everything kind of working for me, and just kind of taking that and moving on and trying to keep that. And so I was able to, thankfully keep some of that for this outing, and just got to keep improving, be ready for the next one.
How does watching, DeCaro's success on Friday and then Shea's on Saturday kind of help your confidence coming into today?
Yeah, that's huge. Seeing the way they use each of their pitches against their batters, seeing how their batters adjust during the game, it kind of gives me confidence in knowing that what Coach Gaines is calling is going to work. So I know, okay, he's calling a changeup here, I'm just going to throw that, because he's seen the starters have success against him, so I know what he's doing is right.
You're a local kid going to Raleigh, play state, now you might be in that starting role. Just sort of talk about that rivalry a little bit, because you've been around this area.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I'm excited for that. I haven't really thought about it too much, because I knew I have to perform well today to maybe try to stay in this spot, but if I do, that's going to be a fun one, especially playing there. But you got to enjoy that. You got to like the rivalry.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Aiden.